Alright, so I went ahead and ordered a Build Your Own MRE from MRE Nation. It can be found at MRENation.com. And I figured for the video, instead of just doing a review of the MRE, since it is all custom and everything, I'm going to really check everything out. What they have and why I chose the choices that I did. We have our packing list here. And here is my custom MRE, and you can see this is actually vacuum sealed. Let's give this a little poke with a knife and see if this gives us a hiss. Yep. And here is my custom MRE. My entree I picked, it's an old standby and it is one of my favorites, so I figured I'd go with chili and macaroni. And when I did it, they actually had this tuna pate from the French RCIR. And then for bread, I went with the Italian breadsticks, trans fat free. I did get plain cheese spread. The British Fruit Explosion Puree. The MRE trans fat free marble pound cake. And then the last thing that we customize ourselves is the drink mix. I went with the Tutti fruity flavor drink powder with sugar and sweetener from a British ration. We do have a couple more things in here, and these are things that are included with all the rations. We have a flameless ration heater. You do get a hot beverage bag, and an MRE Star accessory pack, which includes standard MRE Star accessory pack items like the MRE Star napkin, the spoon, which I've seen these in all the MRE Nation ones so far. We also do have coffee, non-dairy creamer, and sugar, moist towelette, salt and pepper, a pack of hot sauce from MRE Star, and a little pack of Smarties. Alright, and here's everything that's included in my Build Your Own MRE from MRE Nation. The first thing we're going to do is go ahead and heat up the entree. And we're going to use this interesting flameless ration heater. And we'll use the hot beverage bag for the coffee, something I don't usually do in the reviews. But it'll give us a chance to put 2 items in here and actually heat up some coffee in a hot beverage bag. And we'll just take some of the air out of here. There really is only instructions for one item, but I think we're going to be okay having the coffee on the other side of the heating element. Let's take a look at the MRE trans fat free marble pound cake. It smells really good. You know what? It smells like Cocoa Puffs. And the also trans fat free Italian breadsticks. Oh, there's definitely some. It smells like some. It's almost like an oregano kind of smell coming off there. There's probably some garlic in there too, I would imagine, but that's definitely a lot different from a standard wheat snack bread. Of course, this does have these perforations here, so you can make 4 separate breadsticks. And the ingredients do list the seasoning. It does have garlic powder. It also has Italian herb seasoning, which includes basil, oregano, parsley, rosemary, and thyme, and natural onion flavor. So then we have the cheese spread. And we'll put that on a couple of the breadsticks. I want to save a couple for the chili mac too. We have the Fruit Explosion mixed fruit puree, which apparently is apple, strawberry, and banana. Seems like it's basically going to be like an applesauce. I probably should put some out onto the tray. Maybe I will. And we have the French tuna pate, which doesn't necessarily go with this meal, but to have this as an option, I really just kind of had to try it. It smells kind of like a cross between just a can of tuna and cat food, and I'm expecting it's going to taste just fine, and it's going to go good on these breadsticks. So I was going to put it into this compartment, but since it's in the can, I'll just leave the whole can in there. And the Tutti Frutti flavor drink powder with sugar and sweeteners calls for 500 milliliters of cold water. I thought this was a good choice, to once again give us something a little bit different than your standard MRE drink beverage mixes. And it definitely smells different too. I think I've had this once before, and I was kind of thinking it was going to be like a fruit punch, but it almost smells like a fruity bubble gum. And it really does smell like a fruit-flavored bubble gum. And the 500 milliliters obviously gives you a lot of beverage. So even with this glass, we still have quite a bit left over. And I believe that leaves us with our entree and our coffee. And the coffee is actually very hot. Alright, and hopefully the entree will be the same. It's not what I would call hot. Actually, it's very hot right here, but then just lukewarm in some other spots. So I'm gonna mix this around a little bit, wipe it off, and then we'll check it out. And needless to say, we pretty much know what to expect from this entree. An old standby. And there it is. Alright, and there it is, quite a familiar thing. It's been a while since I've had this, and it does look like the consistency has changed a little bit. It kind of, if anything, looks more like a canned pasta than ever, because it looks like the beef is all in these little, almost all the same size kind of little chunks. If it's possible, it has an even more processed look than ever before. And let's try it out. Yep, that's very good. It's not unlike beefaroni, which it actually is quite similar to, because beefaroni does have those little pasta tubes. It is slightly more spicy than what you'd find in a can of Chef Boyardee, which I guess is why it's called chili. Not saying that it's particularly spicy, of course, just it's not bland. Tastes really good. You can definitely taste the beef. The pasta is always kind of tricky in these retort pouches. They, whether they're overcooked or just from being in storage, they do tend to get kind of mushy. And this certainly isn't a firm pasta, but it's not bad. It's not bad at all considering it's been stored in a retort pouch. We will get back to that. First, I want to try the coffee, which is okay. I was about to say it tastes just fine, but it's actually not great. It seems to almost have a little bit of a packaging flavor to it. I didn't really look at the coffee when I opened it to see if it had any dry mold, but considering how recent it is, I don't think that would have been a problem. And bottom line is it's okay. It's instant coffee. What do you expect from that? Try one of these breadsticks. I want to do a few things with these, but I do want to give it a taste on its own. And I did notice that one of the ingredients, which has a bunch of sub-ingredients, is actually called snack bread premix. So obviously this is definitely related to wheat snack bread. And it does kind of feel like wheat snack bread when eating it, same kind of consistency, not surprisingly. But those Italian flavorings really do come through. And part of the reason why I got these, instead of getting crackers, was of course to be able to have them with the chili mac. So I do need to try that. And that is really good. That's better than having crackers or wheat snack bread with your chili mac. Now I want to try out the tuna pate. I'm going to try a little bit of it on its own to see what the consistency is and see if it really does taste like, tuna fish, which is obviously the main ingredient of this. Yep, very much like a pretty much any of the French pâtés. It definitely has that tuna fish taste, but almost a little bit like any other pâté, like a pork or a chicken one. It tastes very similar despite being fish-based, and it has that same consistency. It's very smooth kind of a paste. And of course, we do have to try that on the breadstick too. And that is good though. Definitely different, but as you'd expect from a French RCIR component, also very good, very high quality food. And while we're on the subject of the breadsticks, let's also try it with the cheese spread. Yep, very much the same experience as having wheat snack bread with cheese spread. But you do get that little bonus of the spices and seasoning. And try the fruit explosion. This obviously is in a nice convenient pouch you can just eat right out of here, which I'll do. And yeah, it's a basically it's like an applesauce, but you're tasting the strawberry and the banana in there too. And the reason I moved the tuna pate is because we might as well take a look at this. And not surprisingly, yeah, you're getting an applesauce, fruit puree. But it is really tasty, kind of different, and it gives you a nice little fruit element to your ration. And that actually really does go good with this meal. I'll try a little bit of the Tutti Frutti drink. It almost looks like a lemon lime drink, but I forget that it's actually the Tutti Frutti. And you can't forget once you taste it. Like I said, it kind of smells as a powder and as a liquid, and now as it turns out it also tastes a lot like bubblegum, like fruit stripe bubblegum. Another different thing that kind of freshens this up and makes it a little bit different from a standard MRE. And that leaves us with our marble pound cake, which can't get much better marbling than that. I've already said how good it smells. Now let's see how it tastes. It is very good, if maybe a little bit on the dry side. I don't know if that's the trans fat free part, but as I mentioned, I do like the pound cakes. If this was just a plain pound cake without any kind of extra flavorings, it would be good. And when you first bite into it, that's kind of what it feels like you're biting into, or just a pound cake. And then you get that almost aftertaste of the chocolate. And it's a kind of a artificial sort of chocolate taste, but it tastes like Cocoa Puffs, as I mentioned, the cereal. And it's very good. It's very tasty. This might not go as well with applesauce as a plain one, or something that's more of a fruit flavor rather than chocolate, but you might as well try that. And that does work just fine too. Despite not just being a regular applesauce, it also has the banana and the strawberry in it too. So we pretty much checked everything out, and now the last thing to do is to maybe dress up the entree a little bit with some of this MRE Star hot sauce and a little bit of cheese spread. And I do personally enjoy the chili mac as it is, so we're not going to go overboard with this, but I want to at least give it a try. Yeah, there's a little bit more than I intended to put on there, but let's give that a try. Yeah, that's good. It actually goes really good with the fact that it's chili. It kind of reminds me of those spicy Doritos. I mean, obviously you want your chili to taste like chili, but it really does give it kind of an authentic sort of a really southwestern spice to it. Not overpowering, but nice and peppery. And there is cheese in the sauce, but it never hurts to add a little bit of extra. I'll try this with the hot sauce. And that really does change the flavor profile. I mean, it's like a completely different dish. And it's good. It's perfectly fine. Of course, as I mentioned, I do like the chili mac. So I don't think it necessarily needs it, but it does give you options to kick it up a notch if you really like your stuff spicy, and if you just eat it a lot and get bored of it and want to change it around a little bit. There's definitely nothing wrong with that. That pretty much covers everything. This was my Build Your Own MRE from MRE Nation. Go to MRENation.com to check it out and build your own. Thank you for watching.